I'm 37. I've been playing the cello since I was 4. I've literally been playing every single day since I was 4, trying to master this, trying to make it so it's not about this, actually. You work so hard at this to make it not about this. And when I play, I'm not thinking about the craft of playing the cello. I'm thinking about how to project the music and the emotional depth of what I'm trying to do. I've been playing the Elgar Cello Concerto, which I'm playing in this concert for years, and it's getting deeper and deeper as my life's journeys become more. I become more empathetic to these people and why they wrote these things. And this was Elgar's last piece. It kind of summed up his whole life. I have a grandmother that's 104, and when I speak to her, I think of summing up her whole life. So it's very. It's a very emotionally incredible piece that's kind of one of the greatest pieces. In addition to playing in the typical kinds of classical music venues, you've also worked in television, popular dramatic television. The TV show Oz, Homicide on NBC. Right. How'd you get into that? I kind of believe that the cello is my torch. And they asked me when I was living in New York to play a cellist on a TV show. I didn't realize at the time that I was going to be a murderous cellist in a prison. You know, the roses grow the best out of manure. And I always say that that's a really weird analogy, but the point is that when I play the cello in the prison environment, it's amazing the contrast of this music in a prison environment. And so it was a terrific show that was groundbreaking by Tom Fontana for HBO, before The Sopranos, by the way. It was the first television show on HBO. But I felt like it was the ultimate outreach. You know, these people anybody who watches Oz probably doesn't come to see cello recitals in the concert hall. I think that's a very fair statement. So I figured, you know what, why not? I can play for them, and that actually inspired my first CD, because all these people who never heard cello wanted to buy a cello CD. So I made a collection of works 10 years ago for a CD that would actually entice people to take a chance on classical music. You said you started at age 4. What was your introduction? Your parents? My parents are musicians, and like all the other hobbies that I have had, sports, art, music, they just got me the best instruction for all of them so I'd learn correctly. And it just so my mom was my piano teacher, which didn't work. So that shows that music wasn't guaranteed, and the cello just happened to take off. And it was the sound of the cello that made me so attracted to it, not all of this finger work. It was just the basic beauty that it's so much like the human voice, like someone speaking to you. Do you play other instruments? I don't. Really? I'm very one-dimensional. That's interesting, because you know, musicians who reach a certain level usually have at least a familiarity with... Oh, come on. I mean, of course, I was forced to study piano for many years after that, and I took other classes at my schools and things like that. But, you know, when it comes to really describing my vision in music, it only goes through the cello. Tell me about your first name. Is that a family name? Where does that come from? You know, it's a very interesting question, because I grew up in Virginia, where my father has the same name. And so no one ever questioned my name, ever. And I never thought about my name. But my name is actually, it was our family last name. It's Scots-Irish. Okay. And it took until I moved to Baltimore and went to school for people to start making fun of this name, thinking that it was a made-up stage name. And I kept thinking, oh, first of all, 1984 was a very bad year, because that's the year that Ghostbusters came out. And I don't know if you remember the Sigourney Weaver character where Zuill, the devil god from the refrigerator, that the eggs spilled everywhere. I saw the movie. I'm a little dim on the exact plot and characters. Anyway, that was a total weird segue. But where was it? Oh yeah. So anyway, I went to Peabody, and people started asking me about the name again, and I started realizing how unique it actually was. It was our last name. So and 300 years ago, probably around the time that this cello was made, there was a flock of Zuills in Scotland, our gaggle group. You would be able to choose what it's called, family. A pod of Zuills or whatever. A pod. So at any rate, they probably had all girls, and they had to change the name. They had to continue the name by naming people first names with Zuill.